Hello, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to be playing some Historic Brawl. This time though, something a little bit different. This is an idea I've had for quite some time and I'm finally going to try it out. In Brawl, there are so many commanders that we can build decks around and a lot of them just don't see any play. So I figured, why not have some fun with it and try to do something a little bit random. So I went and I put all 592 commanders that are available on Arena. I hopefully didn't miscount, but they're all there on this giant wheel. And I'm going to spin this big wheel, get a commander, and then build a deck around it. In addition to having a random commander, I'm also going to be adding 2 random conditions to how I have to build the deck. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let's spin this wheel and see what commander I end up having to build a deck around. I wonder if I'm going to actually recognize the commander even. And the first commander in this ridiculous series is Zimoni Quandrix Prodigy. I have no idea who this is. Let's go find out who this commander is. It's the Prodigy. Zimoni? Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a nightmare. So, I wonder... I'm really wondering if I've spelt some of these names wrong. Z. Really butchering it now. Quandrix Prodigy. It is a Simic commander, an uncommon commander to start things off. Human Wizard. Pay 1 tap. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Okay, a little bit of ramp going on there. And then pay 4 tap. Draw a card. If you control 8 or more lands, draw 2 cards instead. Well, you know what? This doesn't seem like all that bad of a commander, to be honest. All right. I'm not just going to build the deck, though. I did say that there were going to be some conditions, and here are the conditions that I've come up with so far. There are 16 conditions. If there's something that you think I should be adding to this wheel, if I end up doing this series again for part 2 and part 3, for example, let me know down in the comments some fun things that might restrict how I build this deck. Originally, I was thinking I was only going to do one of these restrictions, but I'm kind of thinking that I want to add 2 restrictions now. So let's find out what the first restriction is going to be. I have to build this Simic commander as only basic land, so we're going a little bit budgety, okay? And the next condition is going to be, what do I want to see? Only basic lands. Ramp would be kind of neat. Oh. Really? I wonder if I hit remove. Is that going to actually remove it? Okay, I guess I should hit the remove button and do that. A little bit of a botched first little thing. Just ignore that. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to re-record this. No creatures. No instances. Okay. I'm very glad that it was no instances and basic lands instead of no creatures and basic lands. I think that would have been a little bit of a nightmare. So, no instances, no basic lands, and I gotta build a Simic deck that is maybe going to ramp into some big stuff. I don't know. I'm going to find out. I'm also going to make things a little bit harder for myself. I'm going to add a clock to this whole mess. I figure I don't want to spend too much time making this list, so I'm going to add a 20-minute clock and speed this whole thing up and see how this deck ends up turning out after 20 minutes. So I'll get back to you in a few minutes. See how it goes. Alright, so that is the build, and yeah, it looks alright. So I ended up going with a +1/+1 token fractal ramp kind of approach to building this commander. I ended up also going with Karuga as my companion. I made that decision pretty much right away because I've never used Karuga as a companion, and I thought it would be kind of neat to try it out. Then I realized that I was restricting myself even more so and probably made a bad decision, but I didn't want to do that. Am I missing? Oh, I guess I can't do that because of reason. I was hoping that I could cheat on Karuga, and now I'm also cheating on what I'm doing because my companion is apparently invalid. What did I do? What else is in here that's causing Karuga not to? Your starting deck contains only cards with mana value 3 or greater and lands. I thought I was going to be able to cheat with that one card. Do I have any other split cards in the deck? I do. I must have something somewhere. I'm going to continue speeding this up and try to fix this very quickly. Is the commander invalidating Karuga? I guess it probably is. So I guess, you know what, Karuga, you get promoted into the main board because I don't want to do anything else. So, yeah, I guess that's going to be it. And it's a whole big mess now. But the way I was looking at it was, I'm probably not going to be doing anything on turn 1 or turn 2 because most of the time, turn 2, I want to be playing out my commander. Turn 1, whatever, it's not that big of a deal. I can skip it. I might regret that. I'm not sure that... I mean, Karuga's a pretty good card. Okay, we're going to try this out. So this is the deck. It's heavily focused on green, mostly because I can't use any instant speed spells. And I figure if I can't use instant speed spells, what good is blue to me? So I only have a few here and there. I'm going to hope that the sub-themes of oozes and tokens and +1/+1 tokens are going to be able to get me a couple of victories. Bring it into a couple of games and see how it works out. See over there? All right, see how this goes. I think the deck's going to be pretty fun. Fractals are pretty neat. I remember building a fractal deck a little while ago, and I don't know if I ever actually made a video about it. I don't think I did. Look who showed up. It's like I have Karuga already in my companion slot. I'm just not paying that 3 mana to bring it into my hand. This is great value, right? So, lead out on the island. Sure. Okay, things are going as planned. We have, how do you even say, Simone on the field. The Prodigy, we'll call her. And our opponent's going out with a Reckless Fireweave. Pretty cool. So I could use the ability, but I think it's probably better just to go out with... You know what, I realized when I put Europa in the deck at the start, I was thinking Europa would be great to have in the deck because it has that +1/+1 synergy thing going on. I don't think I put all that many enchantments in the deck. That was something that didn't end up crossing my mind over the course of the 20 minutes that I was playing. You know what? Let's go out with the Ooze over the Dryad. I figure the Ooze is a pretty good attacker. If I can start getting in for some damage with the Ooze, then that will be probably better than having the Dryad on the field. I'm not flooded with lands right now. I ended up putting the Dryad in the deck just because I was thinking I have a lot of, very stringent mana requirements in the deck. A lot of things are costing for green, for example. I think there's something like that in the deck. So I might need things like Dryad of the Elysian Grove and also Chromatic Lantern to hopefully help me smooth out that horrible mana, since I am only playing with basics, which was something that actually saved me probably a lot of time. Probably not. How hard is it to throw lands into a commander deck on Arena? Not that hard. But yeah. All right. First things first, let's get in with the Ooze. Look at that. 4 damage on turn 4. That's cool. And now I could end up going out with one of these, or I could draw a card with the Prodigy. I think it's probably better to put out a 2/2 or a 2/4. They're not doing anything. No, you know what? I think I'm going to draw, because hitting my land for next turn is going to be important. Having a biogenic ooze or a consuming blob on the field are going to be more impactful than having a 2/2 that doesn't synergize with anything else in the deck. Okay, I like what the opponent's doing. I can already see it. They're gonna Foundry Inspector, make everything cheaper, and then they have the Reckless Fireweaver to continually do damage to me every time an enchantment comes in. This is a new card. I have no idea what it is. Enter the battlefield, put a charge counter on the reactor. Okay, and then it has an activated ability. Sure. Okay, well, let's draw a card with the Prodigy, and I miss, but I hit the land. That's good. So, is this whenever it attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on each attacking creature with a +1/+1. So it doesn't really benefit me to put out one of these oozes early. Let's get this up to a 5/5. And then I guess it's probably better to go out with the biogenic ooze. Consuming Blob says its power is equal to the number of card types among cards in your graveyard, and its toughness is equal to that number +1. Probably also not a great card to have in my deck since I don't have any instant speed cards in the deck, but it's fine. At the beginning of your end step, create a green ooze creature token with this creature's power is equal to the things. Yeah. All right. So the good news is biogenic ooze plus Oran Reef ooze have some sweet synergy going on, and if they can't take out one of these oozes, things are going to get real dicey for them. Then I have Quandrix coming down. It enters the battlefield, double the number of +1/+1 counters on target creature you control, and then whenever it attacks, you may have the base power and toughness of each other creature you control become equal to Quandrix's power and toughness. That's going to be pretty cool. They are tapping out. Oh boy. Okay. Well, they do have the Raven form, so I do have to be aware of this card in a few turns, or next turn rather. Exile target artifact or creature. Its controller creates a 1/1 blue bird creature token. I could put out Karuga, draw a couple of cards, and then maybe hit something that I could put into the battlefield with the Prodigy. But I kind of feel like I want Quandrix on the field. This will be a huge target for them. The Oran Reef is a big target. The Biogenic Ooze is a big target. Like, they have their plate full. Now, I don't know if I want to go in with the Biogenic Ooze. It will grow to a 4/4, but they could double block it, and I wouldn't trade. So I think it's probably... They are down to 16, though. So if I do, and they double block, they're going to go down to 1. Going down to 1 is huge. I'm going to be a coward. I don't feel good about that. Real cowardice. They're going down to 1. Okay, the oozes get a little bit bigger. Even if they use this Raven form, I'm still going to be left with a 1/1 bird now. And that 1/1 bird might actually be able to fly over and get a victory. They do have this. I never read the second part. Pay 4, sacrifice it. It deals damage equal to the number of charge counters on it to target player, and that much damage up to 1 target creature. So it can deal 3 damage to my face and 3 damage to a creature. Okay, dicey. They decide to Raven form the Oran Reef Ooze. That's good. Probably a good plan. They do have the Primal Amulet on the field. It does need 4 or more charge counters on it before it flips into the Wellspring. The Wellspring is insane. But they have 2 mana, 3 mana. 3 cards in hand. How do they deal with this board? I say optimistically. What is this? If it's neither day or night, it becomes day. As it enters the battlefield, instances and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Sure. But I feel like this is it, right? Gonna come out to a big win with the Prodigy right off the start with this janky hobbled together deck in 20 minutes. I went into this thinking, oh, it's not gonna be too big of a deal. I definitely did not respect the challenge whatsoever. Okay. Attack? Make everything a 4/4? That's sweet. All right. It's all downhill from here, boys. Let's keep going. Next one with the Simic Random Commander. I guess I shouldn't be too surprised that a Simic Commander is doing well. A little bit awkward because I don't have the blue mana. I'm going to have to wait until turn 3 to do anything. But yeah, this is fine. It's good ramp. I am up against Muldrotha, though, and Muldrotha is quite the commander. That is for certain. Okay, blue off the top. Oh, goodness gracious. How great is this? Are they going to counter it? Could you imagine? There's that 1 mana counter wash away, I think it's what it's called. Counter a legendary creature. Wow. Thank you for murdering my my poor prodigy. What's your problem, man? So I could get the Sage, Enigma Sage, out onto the field. That wouldn't be too bad while their kind of shields are down. And this thing is going to keep getting pretty big. I think I like it better than the Grow from the Ashes. Yeah, sure. And get a Scry 1 here. Try to find some lands. Not a land. Yeah, we'll put that on the bottom. That's a card that I'm not going to need until super late into a game, and you don't want to sit in your hand clogging up things. So I guess I put out the Forest and then go out with the Solemn Simulacrum. Then I will Scry, I suppose. What are they holding mana up for? Syncopate. Really? What's your problem? What is your problem over there? Yeah, I'll take a land. Look at these fancy dual lands. How I'm very, very jealous of this breeding pool. All right, they got rid of my Sage. Not very cool. So I could Grow from Ashes kicked. If you kick it, you put 2 onto the battlefield, and then that'll get me into the bounty next turn, potentially. So I don't hate kicking this. I don't think I've ever kicked a Grow from the Ashes on... Ooh, don't want that. I want to get some blue sources. On Arena. That is something new, and which is one of the reasons for me doing this. I figured if I'm going to be building these decks quickly and with some kind of conditions, it might encourage the use of some off the beaten path cards that you just wouldn't expect to see in a lot of decks. Risen Reef, pretty lame. Oh yeah, we got a Kodama. That's cool. So I suppose I commit this to the field, and then every time I cast a creature spell, which I'm going to have a lot of creature spells coming down over the next couple of turns, I'm going to be making 3/3 green beast creature tokens. Kind of cool. And if I can start getting +1/+1 counters on them, it's going to be pretty cool with Kodama. Now, I don't have a whole lot of removal in the deck, which was something I was thinking about putting in, but it just never ended up happening. So I guess I'll go out with Kodama, make a 3/3, and then I suppose I do this. A little unfortunate that I don't get any kind of benefit from the dragon entering the battlefield with the +1/+1 counters, but it's a thing. They have a Plague Crafter that they can cast out from the graveyard because of Muldrotha. Muldrotha, if you're not familiar, during each of your turns, you may play a land and cast a permanent spell of each permanent type from your graveyard. So a creature, an enchantment, a land. What? What kind of... Why? What's wrong with you? Why would you do that to me? Beseiju my primal Primeval Bounty. That's low. That's super low, so sad. And then a Mind Flayer? Okay. Well, it's, yeah. I suppose this is what was expected, right? The Mango Horn is okay. I wish they had an artifact that I could be getting, but I think my only hope now is that the Quandrix Prodigy starts drawing me a lot of cards. I am going to be tapping for 4 to draw 2 cards if it survives. And then maybe something comes out of that. No block. It's real lame, so sad. Are they gonna sacrifice my commander? I doubt it. Yeah, that makes sense. Oof. Okay, bad draws. So now that they have the Mind Flayer in the graveyard, they're going to take my Kodama, and there's not a whole lot I can do here. So, send the good game and not waste any more time. Move on to the next one. It's a real shame. All right, hoping for some better matchups. I actually just cut the last game because somehow I went up against another Muldrotha deck. Imagine that world where I go up against back-to-back Muldrothas when I'm playing a Quandrix Prodigy hobbled together Simic deck with only basic lands. I said at the start of that game that I had hoped that there would be better weight for each deck. I thought Brawl decks had some kind of weighting system where you got matched up against other decks of equal power, but after the last 2 games, I'm kind of feeling like that certainly isn't the case. And it's awfully disappointing because if people want to play a more casual format with sillier things, then, you know, that should be available. Maybe I'm undervaluing the power of my deck, though. Could be the thing. Maybe this deck is a wee bit stronger than I'm giving it credit for. Okay, Gift Paradise. And get in for 1 with the Prodigy. Why not? Opponent looks to be on a Shrine stack, so that's pretty cool. I do really like the Kyodai commander. If they have a whole bunch of Shrines, though, things are going to get out of control really quickly, and I'm not really sure if I'm actually going to be able to do anything about that. Okay. So I do have some cool things, but I don't have any like enablers for my +1/+1 counters, especially like this is going to double them, this is going to proliferate. I could just get Karn onto the field and start plussing this Karn and start generating a lot of value. I think that's probably what I like the most, although the Cosmos Elixir will do a similar thing. Probably this is the best. This is Value Karn. Absolutely love this card. It doesn't make it into enough of my decks, I think. The art on it is so cool. If you ever want to see awesome artwork, go look up the original artwork for this card. I'll probably pop it up on the screen now. There was such a disservice done to this card. I think I've talked about it in another video, but they cropped it down so much. The rest of this card is just a gorgeous piece of work. All right, so they're gaining life, they are tapping things, and they are creating 1/1s. Gotcha. Sure. Miss on the land, a little disappointing. Let's go see if Karn can maybe find me a land. Karn finds me a land. Good guy, Karn. Give me a forest, probably. Wow, they generously give me the island. That's cool. It's not really such a big deal, but still nice of them. I think it might actually be the Primeval Bounty first, and then everything I cast out afterwards is going to give some mega value. So both the Grow from the Ashes and the Cosmos Elixir are going to be putting +1/+1 counters on things. So if I can get out some good creatures. Ooh, Hadana's Climb is so good. Okay, I like this. Things are looking cool. a Nadir, Kraken, and a Forest this time around. It's the Forest. So, how do I play this? I go out Evolution Sage to start. Yeah. Create a 3/3 beast. Then I go down with Hadana's Climb. I put a +1/+1 counter on the creature that can attack this turn, I guess. Oh, this is 3 +1/+1 counters? I didn't know that. Okay, cool. And then we go to combat. I may as well put this on the boar. And then I'll attack in. Although maybe I shouldn't have done that. I should have put it on the commander because it would have flipped the climb. But that's okay. Next turn is another opportunity to do that. And now I get to proliferate Karn, my beast, and the prodigy. They do make a bunch of 4/4, or 4/1/1s rather. Spirits. Creepy, creepy looking Kamigawa spirits. I'm super fine with the Heartless Act on the Prodigy. I'm less fine with the Swords to Plowshares on my poor commander. Lame. But still, I think things are maybe okay. Body of research. That's a body of research. Okay. Things get super fun with body of research. So, first things first. Hadana's Climb. Flipping. I attack in with the 6/6. Yep, sure. Okay. And then I guess I plus the Karn. I don't really care what I get from this. It's going to be the island, so making my land drops, okay. Oh, I suppose I should have body of research before I did that because I would have had a 70s. It's so fun. Okay. Dryad. So I have a 78/78 Fractal, and this Fractal boy, yeah, I can't really do too much right now against what the opponent has. I will be able to give it flying next turn. And if the opponent doesn't have anything that can stop it, which I'm kind of thinking they don't. Do I have anything that gives it... I do have things in the deck that also give it other abilities. Okay, well, let's have fun. Let me double check things. Yep. So I can do this. Create a 3/3 beast. Oh, they get to tap down it. Ah, lame. Lame. My heart breaks. I thought I was going to be so cute. It's fine. I still get to dome them for a lot of damage. Okay. Get in for 30. It would have been a lot cooler if that were just a little bit more damage. Alright. Keep growing the card. Ooh, those are good cards. They give the Uro probably for the best. The Ooze, though, we'll see. Maybe soon. I'm never going to be able to get in, though, now. They do only have limited mana, though. So they can only tap down 3 things with this Sanctum of Tranquil Light. And they are down to 22, so... yeah, it's possible. I might have to start just casting these non-creature spells out to... Really? You're going to go after Karn? What? That's rude. Just get more +1/+1 counters on my things, just to make them a little bit bigger, so then when I do cast this, or do this, it's a little bit more damage. So they're going after my Karn, which makes me think that maybe I should just go get the Biogenic Ooze now. because the biogenic ooze is going to be... It doesn't do too much, though. Yeah, I like it. I want the ooze. Okay. I think it's safe to put this out. Just gain a little bit of life. It's fine. Got ourselves quite the grudge match. Okay. I'm not going to be able to use this turn. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that this turn, now that I'm looking at it. I should have maybe cast this first. Maybe it doesn't matter. Okay. Oh, they let me attack. Well, yeah. There's no point in tapping things down at this point because they can just chump block something. You know what? I'm not going to attack in. We'll hold back. That makes sense that they want to get that onto the field first. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to get in for a Haymaker unless I find... I do have some cards that are going to be able to get my creatures in, making them unblockable if they have +1/+1 counters on them, or giving trample if they have +1/+1 counters. But with this, it's a really big problem. I need to get rid of this Sanctum. I actually also didn't consider that they would blast my poor biogenic ooze. This is fun, though. This is a lot more fun than the lame Muldrotha games, because at least we have a good back and forth going here. Opponents doing their thing. I'm doing my thing. That's what you kind of want to see out of Brawl stuff. I think it makes it a little bit more interesting. It makes it very complicated. This board state is too much for my smooth brain. Well, I'll take down as many as I can, but I'm pretty sure they get my Carney boy now. They are going shields down, though. Not shields down. They have sufficient blockers. And I didn't really find anything. So, you know what? Let's go with the Uro to start off. Make another beast. The Muldrifter's alright. Drawing a few extra cards like that. I wonder if I should just get the Uro out onto the field, though. I think that's probably for the best. And Uro can get rid of all of these cards, I think. Pretty good synergy with the bounty here, making 2 beasts. Alright. Let's see what they do. They don't do anything. So I attack pretty hard here. And then before blockers, I think do I give the big thing flying and double its power so the Kyodai has to block it? They didn't need to concede there. They could have blocked for a long time. Hey, that was kind of cool. Silly things going on there. Unfortunate that the opponent backed out. I think we could have gone on for like at least another 5 minutes. But I would have been getting a ton of value. I would have been drawing a lot of cards. So there is something to be said about that. Keep going. Next one. Glad I got to see Body of Research hit the field. What's going on with this matchmaking? I have a friend who loves Body of Research and swears by it, but obviously it's a bad card. Who cares if you have a 92/92 if it just gets chump blocked constantly like you saw in that last match? I am going to throw this away and get a much worse hand. Wow, it's not much worse. It's about equally worse. I may have to go back and reevaluate the amount of islands that I have in the deck. That might be something, but that's not what this is about. I'm going to stand behind the amount of islands that I had. Okay, hold up a sec. The opponent is also on Shrines. Back-to-back games. This is a different opponent, right? I don't remember them having the Sigarda card back, so this must be a different opponent. Is it just like super chic to play Kyodai with Shrines? Alright, I guess he does have a bunch of Shrines on his back. Or it, whatever this dragon is. So, not cool missing my blue source there. It'll be fine, though. I guess next turn is just going to be Gift of Paradise, just so I can ramp a little bit and make sure that I can get blue sources going. This Gem Raiser actually might be pretty important in the grand scheme of this game. If I can get the Gem Raiser onto the field and just take out one of those super important shrines that they're really leaning on, then it'd be cool. The Champion of Lampholt is one of the cards that I was talking about last game that would allow some of my +1/+1 creatures to get in without having to worry about anything. Unfortunately, didn't find it in the top half of the deck. Ooh. Would love to get rid of... Okay, well, suddenly Gem Raiser not looking so hot because this card says you may not do any of that cool stuff. I guess it's just going to be a repeat of last game. Go out with Karn Daddy. +2 or +1 to get 2 cards. Hopefully find a land. Opponents like to give lands. If the opponent understood what was going on with my deck, they'd give me the Dryad. Don't give me the Dryad. Give me the... Clever opponent. Super tactically putting my island into exile. Alright, so this is not looking good. I really guess there isn't any kind of waiting going on for my matchups. I'm not going to take the risk. I'm going to go get the island. Put that out, and then I don't have a lot of choices, honestly. Could just go out with a shark to crab because it looks awesome. Wow. I kind of feel like it's the Kasima. And then just to get a scry, hopefully hitting my land next turn so I can get 2 turns off of Coma. Kasima. Kasmina? Kasmina. It's a good card, but I definitely need basic. I need my basic lands. There's Kyodai. So Kyodai is, along with the Naturalist, will be able to take out one of my Planeswalkers. A little bit sad about that, but I guess that was... The writing was on the wall for that one, right? Really interesting the amount of land issues I've been having with this deck. Dual lands are obviously pretty important, and I thought when I added only basics as one of the building conditions, I kind of was thinking, oh, it's not going to be that impactful, but you know what? Not having things like Command Tower kind of sucks when you have more than one color. They decide to go after Karn. Probably smart. Karn, in the end, is going to be a better factory. So maybe I should have plussed Karn last turn instead of doing the -1 to bring him into lethal range, because I knew that they were going to cast out Kyodai. They were holding up 4 mana. It seemed pretty obvious. Lots of choices for that Thoughtseize. The Gem Raiser would be fine for them to take, because it's honestly not that good against them right now, not with the Sterling Grove on their side of the field. Sterling Grove makes all of their enchantments untargetable, I guess. So we'll do that. Then I'll put out the Champion of Lampholt plus the Quaddle, I think. Okay, Champion of Lampholt gets a little bit bigger. And I get to scry. I really wish this were a scry 2. I think for 2 mana on... What do you think? Scry 1 balanced, or would Scry 2 push this card a little bit too far? Maybe the Scry 2 would be too much. Maybe if it came in as a 4 CMC, it could be Scry 2. Okay, Sanctum of All. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may search your library or graveyard for a shrine card put on the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. And then if an ability of another shrine you control triggers while you control 6 or more shrines, that ability triggers an additional time. Well, I have to imagine I'm pretty dead. Cool. The Champion Lemholt is going to make sure they can't really attack in too easily. Kasima can die. It's fine. They won't be able to block easily. Is that what I said? I think I might have said something differently. So hopefully it can get a little bit bigger and they might not have any kind of removal for it. That might be a little bit too optimistic. So this says whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1. I can go out with both the Dryad and the Sharktocrab. Or I could just try to jam Coma. You know what? It's probably just trying to jam Coma. It's uncounterable. Real disappointed in you, opponent. Really, really disappointed. You're breaking my heart over here. Playing your best. Should there be better weighting? Did I ask that? I can't remember because I cut that one game and I was ranting a lot about it in that one game where I got the back-to-back matchups against Muldrotha. Should there be better matchmaking for Brawl? I don't know. It's so hard to like say what decks should be matched up against what decks, what power level, what decks are. And maybe it's an impossible feat that they're going after. So I think I'm pretty much done here because what they've done is they've used the Weaver of Harmony to copy the Sanctum of All's ability. They're going to go get 2 shrines. So they're going to, well, who knows what they're going to grab. They're going to grab something pretty impactful. You can bet on that. And all of this before the Seeing Winds shrine pops. So they get to draw just a few extra cards. Just a few. All right. I think I'm ready to toss this one in as well. A little bit of an unfortunate thing, but at least I got the victory in the last one against Kyodai. Shrines are neat. I don't know. Shrines are... I like them, and I want to build my own shrine deck. But then when you see what they're doing, the deck always plays out exactly the same way, and you're like, well, that's kind of lame, right? Couple more. All right, another heavy hitter, the Scarab God. What did I do to run into Muldrotha, back-to-back shrines, and now the Scarab God? What was my first matchup? It feels like forever ago. When you're going up against so many of those decks, suddenly you lose track of time and you can't really remember what your early games were like. But yeah, what did I put in my deck? What, fractals are something that justifies going up against the Scarab God? What's wrong with people? Take the Vivian. The Vivian's super threatening. It's a very powerful planeswalker. You should be very scared of this card. Please take it. Come on. It's not that hard of a decision to make. Come on, opponent. Why are you taking Historic Brawl so seriously? They take the card that I didn't want them to take, of course. The Grow from the Ashes was definitely the best card. But we get a turn 2 commander. That's pretty awesome. Commander that literally does nothing. Yeah, this thing sucks. Oh, and Narset. Come on. What's wrong with people? Elspeth conquers. No, just Elsper's nightmare. My nightmare right now. So this is power 2. They're going to be able to kill my thing, but I can at least put Slowgurk onto the field. And I got a little bit of a curve going here. I got turn 2, turn 3, and then turn 4 maybe Vivian. Seems all right to me. Let's see if they just snap off the nightmare. They decide to put Narset in the graveyard. That's fine. It might be better to do my little challenge thing here against other people who are also taking part in this kind of building restriction rather than bringing it into play queue, but I have no friends, so it's fine. Let's get Vivian onto the field, get Slowgurk up a little bit, and then I guess I get to attack in for 5. That's not the worst thing. So whenever a land enters the battlefield, whenever a land is put in your graveyard from anywhere, put a +1/+1 counter on Slowgurk. There's 0 synergy in my deck with Slowgurk's first ability. Then remove 3 +1/+1 counters to return from Slowgurk. Return it to its hand, owner's hand. Bring it back into hand. Sure. Well, the opponent doing that, that's okay with me because I can just -3. Yeah, I'm super fine with that. I guess it's going to be back, though, so that's fun. But I do get to put a Karuga onto the field. This card is the card that started it all. Karuga, giving me this ridiculous restriction of only putting 3 CMC or higher cards into my deck. And it has been of basically no benefit to me. Burglar Rat. Sure, I can discard a card. I guess I just get rid of a land. It's fine. Let's get rid of the blue. I don't think anything in the deck requires 3 blue. And hey, Slowgurk synergy. All I needed was a Burglar Rat from the opponent to get a +1/+1 counter on Slowgurk. All right, 3 and 2. Gonna play one more. See if I can keep. A 4 and 2 win rate with this deck would be pretty sweet. Let's see if we can achieve it. Next one. All right, final match. It is Slivers. Of course, it has to be Slivers. People don't play anything fun. I really messed up when I put all these forests in this deck. Literally no castable cards in my hand right now. Okay, throw it away. Oh, look at this. This is beautiful. Let's get rid of the Spark Double and rely on a Coma eventually. Doing cool things, I guess. I have a feeling this one might be a quick one. Still. We do have turn 2, turn 3 play. Yeah. They start out with the temple, scrying to the bottom. Sure. Hit my lands. Look at that. I don't think I've been saying hello to my opponents. Maybe that's what's been going on. They've been giving me these weird matchups simply because I've been rude to my poor opponents and not sending them the best wishes. I also haven't been properly emoting. Okay, the opponent off to a slow start. Wow. So I suppose it's going to be Beanstalk Giant into an island. And you want to see something pretty bonkers? Boys. We're ramping. We're ramping. This is beautiful. Cool. I wonder what creature type you're going to choose. This might be a very early Coma, actually. Might just be able to steal something here. I have been complaining about the matchups. I did put outrageously busted things in the deck. Coma, Uro, to name two. I guess it's Nadir Kraken and... Do I want to put this onto the field, or do I want to get in for one cheeky damage? I think I want to actually put it onto the field. So my thought process is this. I might want to pay the 1. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on the Kraken and make a tentacle. I currently have 7 mana. If my next card that I draw is another land, then next turn I can pay the 1 and also get the Coma out onto the field. That's kind of where my head's at right now. I don't think getting in for 1 with the Prodigy is something that I need to be prioritizing. The opponent slams the first Sliver. They hit an Arcane Signet, I think it was. Yeah, that's fine. That's a lot better than hitting threats. So it wasn't a land. Okay, so I will decline. And instead, I will just slam a Coma. Okay, I might need to use Coma, the first ability, to tap down the first Sliver, keep it under control. But we'll see how they start playing things. I might also just jam this Karuga next turn just to get a few cards. It'll draw me 2 because poor Prodigy here is certainly not a 3 CMC creature. I don't know what I was thinking when I was building the deck and I saw... Because they offered Karuga to me. I put the Prodigy in my commander slot and it was like, here's Karuga. You can use it as your companion. It didn't even dawn on me that she's 2 CMC and that it wouldn't actually work out. It's fine. It's fine. What can you do? Diffusion Sliver. What is a Diffusion Sliver? Whenever a Sliver creature you control becomes the target of a spell or an ability an opponent controls, counter that spell unless its controller pays 2. They hit the lightning bolt for my poor Kraken, probably. Oh, don't kill my Prodigy. If you highlight it, it flashes on their screen and makes them think. I'd prefer... Yeah. I really wish they would have killed the Prodigy, obviously, because I want to keep more cards on the field for Karuga. It would have drawn 3. I think I said 2, but Karuga counts itself as well. Okay, more Slivers. Here we go. What is that? Duress. Duress is fine. Duress doesn't hit the creature Karuga. See? You don't put instant speed spells in your deck and you don't get punished by things like Duress. Genius. Now, I think I'm okay taking 8 damage here from the first Sliver. If they want to attack in... okay. Didn't think so. Alright, this is definitely going to be better than the Leyline of Invocation. Hang on a second. Enters the battlefield, draw a card for each other permanent. Oh, it is other permanent. I thought Karuga counted itself because I thought it did. Yeah, I'm just losing my mind, clearly. Quandrix is not terrible. It'll make all my Serpents 4/4s. It'll make the Prodigy also a 4/4. So I think there's no attacks happening now. And Coma is going to be pretty annoying. They're going to need to find some kind of exile to deal with it. Okay, Mirari's Wake. Cheating. Mirari's Wake going to double all of their mana generation, so they're going to just take off with this game. I think now... Ooh, a Cultivate? Yep. That's 4 more mana a turn. That is not cool. Okay, still no attacks from the opponent. Kodama, you say? So I have 7 mana. I can't cast out everything, unfortunately. Or everything. I meant both of these. Not hitting these land drops is quite brutal. I think it's probably just going to be Quandrix, though. Get a flyer. I'm realizing now Quandrix would work pretty darn well with the Nadir Kraken if you make a bunch of 1/1s and then you attack in. That's some pretty cool little synergy there. I might get to a point in this game. What might end up happening is my opponent ends up attacking in with something. And I take a little bit of damage. I just make sure I don't die. And then whatever blockers they leave back, I use Koma's first ability to tap down that creature. Oh. Yeah. That might be the route that I'm going to want to take at some point in the future. And then I can just get an Alpha Strike off and kill them. I am making a ton of serpents. Quandrix going to make everything a 4/4. So, the opponent definitely has to be careful. They have 2 cards in hand. I would love them to attack with like 3 creatures here. Use my brain. Okay, so here we go. Block, 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 and then sacrifice. Ooh, that clicked way too quickly. Tap target permanent. Its activated abilities can't be activated this turn. Right? Yeah, I'm doing this right. Yeah. Tap this one. Sacrifice this one. I don't play a whole lot of Koma, so excuse this. Oh, this is a problem. Diffusion Sliver. I do have enough to pay for it, and I completely forgot about it. So I can't tap down the other 2 this turn. So I am going to be... Okay, I would not have blocked with both of these slivers had I known that. Or with both of these serpents had I known that. Yeah, that actually might be the decision maker in this game. It all depends on what their unknown card is, too. That thing's pretty important. But I would have taken 19 damage there, would have been super fine. So what I have to do, tap, I can pay 4, and then I attack in for 4. Okay, does this... Whenever Quandrix attacks, you may have the power, with the base power and toughness of other creatures you control become equal to Quandrix's power. So it's not really worth it for me to do that because I would have to lose 2. I would gain 1, 2, 3, 4 power, but I would lose 3. Oh, it actually ends up being worth it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 4 is 20 damage. It's not lethal, unfortunately. So I'm in this weird spot again. So I think what it is I put out this card. I put the counters on Quandrix. Now it's a 6/6, so that's going to be a little bit more power coming in when I attack. But I can't do the other thing now, right? If I attack, I can tap 1. They'll have to block 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 6. Pay, block. I attack in. They block 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 6 is enough. 5 times... Yeah, right? I'm not losing my mind, am I? Let's do it. Do this one. Sack. Pay 2. Attack in. Take action. Maybe? Yes. Wow. Definitely lucked my way into that line. And basic math is super hard for idiots. Yeah, turns out. But it doesn't matter because if you sit there and you think about it for a little bit, you still get the victory and you end up going 4-2 with the deck you built in 20 minutes with a random commander, basic lands, and instant speed spells. How sweet is that? Go to a wrap up, I guess? I don't know. All right, so I had a whole lot of fun with my first ever random Commanderama, choosing a random commander, some building conditions, and just having some fun with some weird stuff. The deck ended up working out pretty well. I was playing strong stuff. Simic is a very strong color combination to be making a deck with, certainly. So there's no surprise that it actually did pretty well with that. Now imagine if I didn't have access to creatures or something. Oh my god. So I'm kind of excited to see what will happen with this little thing that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be putting these videos out every so often. I don't want to talk about the deck. There's nothing to talk about. It's what is this? It's just a bunch of okay Simic stuff and hobbled together synergies with +1/+1 counters and tokens. Yeah, that's cool. But what I do want to talk about is the conditions that I did create for this. I currently have 16 conditions, and I think they're okay for now. They're a good starting place, but I would love to hear some recommendations for other conditions that I could add to this list. I think I will be continuing on with the idea of 2 conditions every time I make one of these decks, and of course, the random commander. Now, there's not really anything you can add to the random commanders. It's just a whole bunch of commanders on there. You can't even read them. There are so many of them. But for the conditions, it was a little bit harder. I think there's more room to explore other weird things and things to consider when you're building these decks. So please let me know if you have some great ideas for that. And please let me know what you thought about this experiment that I'm doing. Do you like this? Is this something you're interested in seeing? Random build-arounds that might work, but probably won't work in the end. I think I got super lucky going 4-2 with this one. I don't think that's going to continue. Anyways, that's it for this video. Take care for now. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.